a poor drainage system, reckless construction, or the NTPC tunnel? What has led to the crisis in Joshimath, which we are witnessing all since last week, when big cracks have emerged all across the town, triggering a review at the top level, even at the Prime Minister's office, holding a meeting yesterday on Joshimath and setting up a interdisciplinary members from 7 institutions are going there to Joshimath to study the whole issue. Saman Sharma from CNN News 18. Today I am joined by Shrishti Chaudhary, who covers environment and climate very closely, and we are discussing what really has happened in Joshimath. To put it on the forefront, nobody really knows what has happened. What is the real cause for this kind of a crisis in Joshimath? Nobody is ready to pin the point a finger and say, okay, this is the reason. But as per whatever experts and whatever people we have spoken to in government, we would put it down to maybe 3 points, Shrishti. Starting off first, I think, which Shrishti will speak about, is the non-existence of a proper drainage system in Joshimath. So this is a unique town built on a glacial kind of a town, which already has a not a very strong foundation. But on top of that, no proper drainage system has existed in Joshimath for years. Shrishti, how would you explain that? Is that a major reason which the experts are saying are responsible for the current crisis?
Indeed, Aman. So the geological foundation of Joshimath has always been under question. It's it falls in seismic zone 5, which means that it faces the highest risk of an earthquake. But despite that, there has been rampant construction taking place in this town, which is near to Badrinath. So a lot of these houses which have been built there in the last couple of years, they do not have a proper drainage system. Whatever drains that they built suited their needs, but they were not built scientifically. And a lot of experts have done studies in the past. They conducted ground surveys and realized that there's no science to how they are managing the water flows. And I spoke to Dr. Kalachand Sen also, that he also highlighted the same part, that the natural flow of water in this town is obstructed now because of these houses, these hotels and restaurants. So that could be a major factor in probably triggering this disaster. This disaster was anyway supposed to come, but we have really probably accelerated this because of this.
And also, when a city, we need to understand this for a layman viewer, that when a city does not have a proper robust drainage system, what the water essentially starts to seep into the ground. Yeah. And slowly under the ground, this water is collecting and it's already making the foundations of the town weaker. And on top of that, when there is reckless construction in the city, the pressure even increases more. And this is what happened on the night of January 2, when in a small area of Joshimath, water suddenly erupted from the ground, leading to this crisis, and these cracks were discovered in nearly now 600 plus houses in Joshimath in an area of 350 meters, what the PMO has been informed yesterday in a review. So in a way, a deadly cocktail of having not a proper drainage system, atop that reckless construction. And in fact, the Chief Minister Pushkar Dhami, when he visited Uttarakhand a few days back, in fact the day before, 2 days before that, has now said that the proper drainage system will be immediately be implemented in Joshimath, and he will sign on the file without waiting for any formalities. So why this was not thought about by various successive governments in Uttarakhand over the years is a matter of inquiry now, what has led to this crisis. But Shrishti, when this construction happens, and it's not just hotels and restaurants and houses, it's also about the infrastructure development. There are a series of roads being built, there are a series of other projects being built. Don't you think that also puts pressure on this town? No?
Definitely. So over the years, since it's a popular tourist location, it's people stay here for overnight while they're traveling to Badrinath. There's Oli, and there's Valley of Flowers. So what has happened is that a lot of roads have also come up. There's the NTPC project, which is in the middle of the controversy. So while the construction is taking place, there's a lot of blasting that happens. And when you are really changing the landscape of the hills, you are bound to face the repercussions, which we are seeing at Joshimath. And like you said rightly, that there's the water is seeping into the ground surface. It's already weak. And scientists have also highlighted that the rocks in this particular region have weathered over time. They aren't as strong as they used to be. So when the rivers are flowing, when the streams are flowing, they are carrying these rocks downstream, which is leading to sliding of the subsurface, which scientists refer to as toe cutting. Which is a major reason for why Joshimath is sinking, because the subsurface layer is weak.
Yeah.
So, and if the pressure on surface increases, the land is will face the repercussions. It will sink.
And we are shortly putting out a story on news18.com regarding this. And Srishti has spoken to many experts. One of them is Dr. Swapnita Chaudhary from the Wadia Institute of Himalayan Geology, who said, in fact, that these risks are being flagged since 2006, almost 15 years back, saying the drainage system in Joshimath is not well maintained. The wastewater from the the days usage flows through improper concrete drains. They are supposed to be let out into natural streams. The Border Roads organization has been, in fact, heavily criticizing the drainage system in Joshimath over the years, saying the situation in the 9 nalas of the city is beyond control. So it is not as if there have not been warning signals. The warning signals it's not an overnight crisis.
Yes.
The warning signals have for long been there, but in a way they have been ignored. And the geologists, when they say that there's a lot of seepage being noticed in the streams uphill, which is loosening the soil in Joshimath, these warnings needed to be heeded to. But apparently, it seems the successive governments in Uttarakhand have not heeded to these.
Definitely, I mean, these are stark warnings. If you check any of the studies or the ground reports done by scientists over the last 5 decades, all of them have highlighted this. They said that the construction need to be regulated. There need to be a proper drainage system. You need to take care of this place, but the governments have ignored these warnings, and today we are seeing those repercussions. Another point that we really need to take into consideration is that naturally also it's very vulnerable, because in 2021 Joshimath received about 190 mm rainfall in 24 hours. If a high rainfall event takes place in January, we can imagine what would happen to these houses which have already developed these wide cracks. So both naturally as well as due to anthropogenic factors, we have come to this disaster that Joshimath is facing now.
And now a central team has gone to Joshimath, as I said, from 7 different central institutions. The probe will be conducted. Probe is being conducted especially on this point, that from where is this water seepage coming from? What is the source of this water? Is this glacial water? From where is this water coming? A big allegation is also now coming from the locals against the NTPC project near Joshimath. This is the new hydro project which has been in the works for almost 15 years also now. A 12-kilometer long tunnel being built in near Joshimath from Tapovan to a place called Vishnugad for a 520 megawatt hydroelectricity project. This tunnel is about 8 kilometers complete. 4 kilometers is still left, but now the locals which have been doing a long agitation against this NTPC project, say the seepage from this tunnel is actually responsible what's happening in Joshimath. NTPC is strongly denying this assertion, saying its tunnel is at any point of time is not even 1 kilometer close to Joshimath, but still the allegations are now coming in. And just last year there was a major tragedy at this tunnel where over 50 laborers lost their lives after flash floods in this tunnel following the flooding which happened in Chamoli. So this project also is now in the center of controversy, Srishti, clearly.
Yes. We have lost 50 laborers while they were working on this project, and it was not the first incident that the tragedy that hit this hydropower project. The locals have been really protesting that construction of this project be stopped. There's a tunnel being built. It's just not the construction, but it's also how this construction is taking place. There is blasting happening, and when you blast a hillside, there are vibrations, and the way their impact lingers in the hills, it's very difficult to decipher. So that's what the locals have been saying, that we need to stop this project. As of now, the work on the project is stopped, but we do not know, what tragedy might occur in the coming years if we do not really check the role played by this particular plant.
Clearly, I think the center is now intervened. The state is also pulling up its socks, but the damage, I think, in Joshimath is done over the years, and it will take some real effort to arrest this damage at this point and maybe reverse it and make the place safe for people. So what is the real reason for the Joshimath crisis? Is it the drainage crisis? It seems like that. Is it reckless construction? It seems like that. Is it the NTPC tunnel? We don't know, but a central team is now probing the reasons very closely on what has caused this crisis and what can be done to arrest this damage. And as the PMO said, that the first priority is to rescue people from there, ensure that they are rehabilitated, prefabricated structures are set up, and all that process is in place. We'll be keeping a close eye on the Joshimath issue in the following days. Please join us on CNN News 18 in the future also for such discussions. Thank you so much.